just figured I would say one brief thing because the video retreat I've been doing on Tricycle magazine this month. A number of people have asked questions, and just today the issue of stones came up. And since I've been talking in the video for week 3 about Mark Rogosin, the late Mark Rogosin, who used to write the syllable AUM on stones and hand it out to people in Woodstock, I thought I would just tell a very brief story about a particular stone. This is a very odd looking little stone. I'll pass it around in a moment. It looks almost like a prehistoric tooth of some animal or something, or like a fossil. Denise Patrizio, who is the videographer who did the Tricycle videos for the online retreat, she got so interested in Mark's story from what I said about him in week 3 of the videos that she actually drove all the way to Woodstock and went all over Woodstock with me looking for old stones that he had done and places that were significant to him. We went over to his house, which is just right down here. In any case, I was looking through and I found this one stone, very unusual stone, and I thought, boy, that's strange, and he never wrote on it, you know. And I took it home, and I put it in my pocket. I carried it around in my pocket for a couple of weeks now. And just a couple of nights ago, I took it out. For some reason, I put it in my hand when I went to sleep, under my pillow. And so it was in my hand, under my pillow as I was sleeping. And I woke up in the middle of the night to do my green meditation practice. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I was holding the stone, doing my practice, and I fell back asleep. But I woke up in the morning, and when I woke up, I had the strangest memory. I remember one day sitting right across the street over here at Catskill Mountain Pizza outside. It's about 7 years ago. And Mark came up. I was with my kids, who at that point weren't teenagers, they were quite little. We were all sitting around. I think we were having pizza for lunch. It was in the summertime. We were sitting outside, and Mark comes walking up and sits down at the table, and we start to talk. And he's dropped off something at our house early that morning. He used to go walking early in the morning, and frequently if he found something interesting or something he thought that I'd like to read or whatever, he'd leave it on my front porch. So we were talking about that, and then he reached around in his pockets to pull out a stone to write AUM on to give the children, because he was ready to go about his business for the day. And he pulled this stone out, this very stone. And he showed it to me. He says, "Isn't this an odd stone?" And I looked at it and I said, "Boy, it's really special." He says, "I can't figure out where to write on it, or even if I should write on it." He says, "I don't know." And he was puzzled. He was genuinely puzzled by it. Mark was a very simple, straightforward sort of person. He was looking for a surface to write AUM on, the right surface, how to decorate this stone. And finally he couldn't figure out a way to decorate it, or still puzzled over it. I don't know. But I'm sure he kept it in his pocket for a long time. And then he put it in this flower pot, and then he died. And then I found the stone, took it home, put it under my pillow, fell asleep, woke up, and had the memory of the stone. 7 years. So there is you know, if there's a point to this story, and I'm not positive that there is, okay, other than just the simplicity of this stone, then I guess it would be that there are many things that lie dormant within us. Okay, we carry around a lot of wisdom inside of us that we picked up in odd sort of places, not sure what to do with it. And we spend a lot of time writing on things, allowing ourselves to be written on. But somewhere deep down inside us, there's something just this simple and this basic. It's like trying to write on water. It can't really be written on. It doesn't need to be written on. AUM is already there. So it doesn't need to be written there. So we have within us that deep wisdom. Now we're going to recite the Mandukya Upanishad in a moment, and you'll see basically what the method of green meditation is. It's a 4-part method, and the Mandukya Upanishad really sums it up. It's kind of a blueprint for green meditation. There are 4 states of consciousness. There's the waking consciousness that we know. This is what we know. Everything we know comes from the waking consciousness. Then there's the dream consciousness. Even our knowledge of dreams comes while we're awake. We remember them when we're awake. We interpret them while we're awake. Even the act of remembering them, they become wakefulness. So there's the world of dreams that we realize when we wake, that we have dreamed. And then there's the world of deep, dreamless sleep, in which the mind thinks no thoughts and sees no dreams, where everything is undifferentiated and where we really are in the arms of nature. We are in the warm embrace of nature. There are various figures, Kali, the Black Madonna, various figures in world religion that are symbolic of that embrace. And then there is a state that the Upanishad calls the fourth, in which we call green meditation. The Upanishad said that it both embraces and transcends the first three states. What that means is that green meditation is the totality of our consciousness, but that totality is only revealed by a light that shines in the dark. It's not a 1,000-watt light. It's not the light of the sun. It's not really the light of the moon. It's another kind of light that we find that we can perceive. It's really easy to access but hard to describe. Easy to access because if we fall into the right walking rhythm through life, then we can leave space for it to happen. It's a biological imperative. It's the way human beings lived, the way they slept, the way they experienced the world for millions of years until quite recently, when we began to compress and consolidate our sleep and crowd it out. So, the top of the palate, and the M is at the lips. And then the in-breath following that is the fourth state of green meditation that is silent. And it wraps itself around, that silence, you might say, envelops or embraces the three letters, the three sounds of the syllable Om. We do this 3 times. Please visualize the following while we do this. This is the last thing we'll do with every meeting from now on, pretty much, these 3 Oms. When you do it, what you're doing is you are generating, and we'll be doing it at evening. Now it's daylight savings time and dusk is still a ways away, but it's not too early in the day to begin generating that light within the darkness. It's anywhere from the size of a hickory nut to a ping pong ball, and it's roughly the shape of a ping pong ball. If you think about the yin and the yang symbol of the Tao, it is the white circle in the darker half, the yin half of the yin-yang symbol. That side stands for night. And that small sphere of blue-white luminescent light is the light that awakens in the dark. And that is your guide, really, to green meditation. In saying this Om 3 times, what you're doing is you are generating an image of that, but the Tibetans call it a tigle. It's like a droplet of light, a drop of light. And it's insubstantial. You don't particularly have to work at it. You just let the Om generate it for you. This is people have been doing this for thousands of years. You don't need to work at it. Your biology responds to the sound. So the basic idea is just to get out of the way and to let that happen. It may take a week. You may experience it tonight. It may take a month. It can take 2, 3, 4 months. We don't know how long it takes. Each biology is on its own clock. But eventually what you'll find is that that light blossoms and opens within you during the night. And at that point you begin to have some sort of direct contact with green meditation. And at that point you come and you sit here and you tell us about it. That's how it works. Okay?